you know, I had a debate yesterday on the top income tax where I'm saying, you know, the top income tax needs to be back above 50% at least, and maybe as high as 74 to 90%, because it worked really well at those levels. And you see those levels in much of the rest of the developed world. So now this article by Paul Buchheit over at Common Dreams. Paul writes some of the best stuff. He said, last year it was 8 men, then down to 6, now almost 5. As of June 8th, 2017, the world's richest 5 men own over $400 billion in wealth. Thus, on average, each man owns nearly as much as 750 million people. The headline, now just 5 men own almost as much wealth as half the world's population. Most of the super rich are Americans, he says. In 2016 alone, just last year, the richest 1% effectively shifted nearly $4 trillion in wealth away from the rest of the nation, that would be you and me, to themselves. With nearly half of the wealth transfer, $1.9 trillion, coming from the nation's poorest 90%, the middle and lower classes. That's an average of around $17,000 in housing and savings per lower to middle class household lost to the super rich. Now, he says the rationale for this is we're a meritocracy. You know, these billionaires who are getting richer and richer and richer are billionaires because they're just so brilliant. Right. Well, Paul Buchheit writes, in 1975, at the age of 20, Bill Gates founded Microsoft with high school buddy Paul Allen. At the same time, Gary Kindle's CP/M operating system was the industry standard. Even Gates' company used it. But Kildall was an innovator, not a businessman. And when IBM came calling for an operating system for the new IBM PC, his delays drove the big mainframe company to Bill Gates. Even though the newly established Microsoft company couldn't fill IBM's needs, Gates and Allen saw an opportunity, so they hurriedly bought the rights to another local company's operating system, which was based on Kildall's CP/M system. Kildall wanted to sue, but intellectual property law for software had not been yet established. Kildall was the maker who got taken. So Bill Gates took from others to become the richest man in the world, writes Paul Buchheit, and now because of his great wealth and the meritocracy myth, many people look to Bill Gates for solutions in vital aids of human needs, such as education and global food production. Like on education, he's promoted galvanic skin response monitors to measure the biological reactions of students and the videotaping of teachers to evaluate their performances. About schools, he said, Bill Gates said, quote, the best results have come in cities where the mayor is in charge of the school system, so you have one executive and the school board isn't as powerful. Right. American billionaires, Paul Buchheit writes in summary, all made their money because of the research and innovation and infrastructure that make up the foundation of our modern technologies. They have taken credit, along with their massive fortunes, for successes that derive from society rather than from a few individuals. It should not be any one person's decision about the proper use of that wealth. Instead, a significant portion of annual national wealth gains should be promised to education, housing, health research, and infrastructure. That's what Americans and their parents and grandparents have earned after a half-century of hard work and productivity. And by the way, why won't the media report about Democrats who are being threatened out of running for political office?
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
I mean, one little story in Newsweek. If a Republican was being threatened and had to withdraw from running for political office, Fox would be on it 24/7, and so would the rest of the corporate media. It's amazing, you know, everything that is going on. And I'm not like, I'm just getting started here. I am just getting started. Chuck Schumer tweeting out. Chuck Schumer, you know, yesterday we saw this mind-boggling, butt-kissing spectacle where the cabinet, Trump's cabinet officers all sat around and told him how wonderful he was. Chuck Schumer got together with his staff and made a kind of a little parody clip based on it. And what was it, NBC, Chris? Yeah, NBC kind of put the two of them together and tossed it up on YouTube. So let me just share this with you real quickly. It's fascinating. Here's this.
They got the exact right message, and it's being responded. The response is fabulous around the country.
Session.
Deeply honored, and I want to thank you for keeping your commitment to the American workers.
My hat's off to you for taking that stand and for sending a clear message around the world.
It's a privilege to serve.
That's
I can't thank you enough for the privilege that you've given me and the leadership that you've shown.
So I'm thrilled to have a chance to help you live up to your campaign promises.
Thank you for
Lynn
getting
Chow.
this country
moving.
Optimism from small businesses is higher than it's been in about 16 years.
We thank you for the opportunity and the blessing that you've given us to serve your agenda.
We're making tremendous progress.
We thank
I
you
want to
for the
congratulate
blessing.
you on the men and women you've placed around this table, the holistic team of working
Everybody
for
except General Mattis was just totally kissing his butt, right? So then shortly afterwards, Chuck Schumer gets together with his staff.
I want to thank everybody for coming. I just thought we'd go around the room. Lucy, how'd we do on the Sunday show yesterday?
Your tone was perfect. You were right on message.
Michelle, how'd my hair look coming out of the gym this morning?
You have great hair. Nobody has better hair than you.
Before we go any further, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity and blessing to serve your agenda.
That's great.
And they all break up laughing. But after that, Chuck Schumer tweets that out, and then he says, he tweets, Republicans don't want the American people to know that their plan has massive cuts to Medicare, or that their plan would make costs go up and leave millions without health care, or that their plan will make people pay more for less coverage just so the rich get a tax break. If they were proud of this plan, they wouldn't hide anything. They'd crow all about it. What exactly are they trying to cover up? This is it. This is not a drill. So the Democratic Party is engaged, the Senate Democrats are engaged in a debate right now about whether they should hold this thing up for a week or two with procedural efforts. I would encourage you to call your senators. You have 2 of them, unless you live here in the District of Columbia, at 202-225-3121. Call your 2 senators, and if they are Democrats, ask them to do everything in their power to stop this Republican bill, or just even to slow it down. We'll be back with your calls with it.
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program. Call 202-808-9925.
And more of the news of the day. There's still a lot more going on, and plus you got Jeff Sessions testifying this happening. It's going to get wild. Stick with it.